5 characteristics or traits of the nigga for me, one would definitely be from the United States. Lower class, lacking a certain amount of not just resources, but access to Western institutions, schooling, job, what have you, even westernized religion, wildness, right? So uncivilized, right? This kind of I don't give a fuck attitude, and specifically aimed towards those in power, right? So fuck your degree, fuck getting money the way you say I gotta get money with the suit and tie, I'm gonna sag my pants and be able to get your money. Right?
Ignorant, trifling, shady, abrasive, or discourteous. And right now, nonchalant. Experience, everyone's going to have their own history with that, quote unquote, troublesome word. The historical irony is where that word was used to ostracize and set apart black people. By calling someone that meant you were outside of the circle. You couldn't be part of the mainstream. You're an outsider. A white person would call a black person a nigger to say that you're somehow different and less than, and you can't be part of the collective. It's come full circle, so now it's a word of inclusion, meaning if you aren't part of our group, you don't get to say the word.
We took something that was used to hold us down and to make us feel bad about our color and about our heritage, and we turned it around as like a slap in the face or a laugh at the same people that used it against us, and now we use it to uplift each other. Me and my friends and family that's close, that's mostly African American, we use the word nigga is a word like to say my partner, my brother, my dog, But the word nigga, it's all about how you use it.
Nigga please, or that nigga right there, I honestly am not saying it to say that ignorant, that's not what I mean.
So one of the things you do with language, one of the things you accomplish with language is you become a part of your group. It may be a really healthy thing to take a word that's taboo and full of negative stuff and turn it around and say, well, actually it means a good thing. And because I'm the one who gets to say the word, I get to define what it means.
My personal feelings about the word nigga, that if we use it more, then it take the power away from them and what they did. So like Matulu encouraged Tupac not to just use the word nigga, to make it mean something, never ignorant, getting goals accomplished. And by us saying that, it's totally different than the ER, with the GA, we good. But the ER is like, something derogatory.
Look together, nigga, you feel me, girl? You feel me? If we go to jail, nigga, ain't nobody calling a motherfucker a nigga. We all one. I mean, he might be a white motherfucker in jail, but if he from the hood and he ain't up on, he with us. Feel me? He a nigga though. But depends on how you push it. A nigga call me a nigga and he ain't this race, nigga. It's get off time. But shit, I can call a nigga call me a nigga in junior high. Crack this shit.
I mean, words really can be powerful and hurting, but I think part of it has to do with what the interpretation that the individual gives to it. So, part of this use of nigga as a kind of inclusive term is sort of hopeful in taking the power out of the word as a negative and appropriating it for community use.
Where I grow up, everybody uses it like it's a word. So everybody call each other niggas. Even I hear other races using it now. And it's kind of like, that's what made me kind of like, yeah, maybe I should stop saying the word, because it's like everybody else, we saying it so everybody think that it's okay to call each other that. And it's not, it's actually something that as a race, we fought hard to stop. And I feel like, I'm kind of like marking my ancestors.
I do believe as a community we have been conditioned and we have tried to find a positive use of this word. And with that, we have allowed others outside of our race to use the word and make them feel like the word nigga means friend or pal or bro or however you want to put it. So we've made it acceptable for others to say it.
That connotation of that word brings you back to that stage of slavery, the mindset. So why would you want to do that? That's my question.
I think so long as there are people who are racist and intend to hurt, then it's going to be possible to find a way to do that using language. Yes, language is not the problem. People, people interacting with each other is the problem.
And we got to stop living in nigga conditions. And that's a reality, you know what I'm saying? As long as a youngster is growing up feeling like they're the bottom of the barrel and they're always going to be at the bottom, and they live in an environment that's completely hostile to them and hella fucked up and destructive towards them, they're going to be self-destructive. And we can't really be mad at them for that.
Huge disparity in income. You know, some of the greatest disparity in income in the history of the United States and in the world. CEOs make 470 times what the average salary is in the company that they lead. You know, with this kind of disparity culturally and economically, we'd have to expect that there's going to be a wide range of signifiers. You know, do you belong in this group or not? And language is one way that you identify and signify where you belong. A lot of varieties have that same sort of reaction. You know, like it's almost like any variety that's not standard is ignorant.
I think the word, it's a sacred word. And I grew up with the word being a word that blacks understood the word. So how it was said, the tonation, that meant a lot. But as we began to sell the word to other communities who lack the depth of understanding or connection to the word, it totally put it on the table to then be marketed and packaged and mass produced and then distorted in this whole process. And so now it has lost its sacred meaning for us as a people, and we've actually had to distort it further to try and create any sort of value out of it, because so much of the value in the word has just been extracted in this process.
Yeah.
Those living within this Western frame, they fall victim to this sense of whiteness as being the standard of what is deemed valuable and good. So then most people find themselves sneaking, wanting to be niggas, because how the nigga is created in America is actually, it allows you to be free. It allows you to be void of this certain knowledge which is deemed valuable, right? Niggas don't care about the shit on Wall Street and the complex system, because it really doesn't make total sense in the natural world, right?
You know, the trope of blackness often represented in the United States. Coolness, you know, freedom, abandonment. You know, what does Paul Mooney say? Everybody wants to be a nigga, but nobody wants to be a nigga. It's stereotypically a certain caricature. So that means in terms of, you know, where you can sell more records if you do that year in jail. Wayne, T.I. If you get shot I was in the game, I sold dope. You know, that's, somehow he's more authentic. He's more authentic because his story is consistent with what you think, you know, blackness should be in that genre. When you buy into that, you are implicitly or explicitly telling the people who are participating in that industry in terms of shaping images, you're telling them that this is cool.
After the Industrial Revolution and the machine, blacks are no longer needed in the United States, but we've been uprooted and we don't really have a motherland to really go back and just be fully, you know, acclimated and incorporated back to a functioning way of life. They try and not sell drugs by selling culture. And so they sell an image, because ultimately the experience we've gone through has catapulted us to being the coolest being on the planet. Nobody is more cool than the black person in America, and specifically the black male is deemed as the coolest being on the planet, right? So therefore, everybody wants to buy this. They want to have this ultimate spiritual kind of aura, which young people now refer to as swag. It's just a spirit, right? Being able to survive out of nothing, to take a phrase, to take a dance move, to take an idea and then sell it, right? It's like alchemy. It's incredible. And so, of course, people, they want that. And so it makes sense to me why people want to emulate this blackness. But then the second part, those older black people know that essentially we're selling our soul.